which is, in my opinion, the best high school in the world. Go Moguls! Now, I will admit that since being asked to be today's commencement graduation speaker, I had struggled to find the best words to share with you. There's so much out there. Now, I did use the internet for some ideas, but I got a little intimidated when one source told me that the graduation speech is second in difficulty only to the eulogy. So, what I decided to do is I'm going to share with you, graduates of 2017, what I wish I knew 18 years ago. Yes, that's right, the year you were born. Now, I have two small children at home under the age of 7, and with my sister being Miss Koller, I know a lot about Disney movies, so I've decided what better motivation than some Disney inspiration sprinkled in. Give me a moment, I gotta get my props. Do you like my crown? Yeah. It's not near as real as Jessica or Joella's. I have a magic wand. Let's see if this works. Cue the music.
I think it's broken.
It's there. It's quiet. This could be a really long speech. Now, it has been said that before Alice got to Wonderland, she first had to fall. I really hate to be the one to tell you 2000 graduates, or graduates of 2017, but be ready, you're about to fall. But here's the secret. It's not where you start or the road that you're on that counts, it's how you finish. Today and every day hereafter, you need to decide what your goals are. What do you want your life to look like? Now, I can tell, I've been in your seat. That's the last thing you want anyone to tell you is about your far distant future. You're probably thinking about what little time you have left before this summer, before you start a job or college. You might be thinking about how you just got to turn in your books for the final time. You might even be thinking about putting out a fire, right, Dennis? Or maybe you're thinking about how high you're going to throw your cap later today, right, Trevor? Let's be honest, some of you are only thinking about graduation cake, right, Tel? Hakuna Matata, right? No worries. Sing if you know it.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no peasant craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's all problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
That's where we all are. Now, some of you might be thinking about college or life far from here, as fast as you can get, or a career so you can start being successful. Now, I learned a lot of things since being here in Edgemont High School, some of them the hard way, like I should never have trusted the vehicle that my parents gave me after graduation. Now, don't get me wrong, it got me to college. It just never got me back home. Come to think of it, that might have been their plan all along. But I know that if Chris, Ronnie, or Zach were there, you would have fixed it up in no time, right? You would have liked it. It probably is vintage by now. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you 3 points that I wish I knew and that I think will help you become successful. First, read self-help books. I know, the last thing you want anyone on graduation day to tell you is go out and read a whole bunch of stuff. But it's true, it helps. Now I need to share a little history with you. Reading was not a subject or a hobby that has been easy for me. It's actually been quite difficult. I had a tutor when I was really young, and I never developed the love of books. I barely squeaked by on any subject that required an extensive amount of reading. And I have to be honest, I was ecstatic when I graduated that I didn't have to read another single page. But others. So that's when I decided to give it a try. And I found some of the most influential speakers and authors. My favorite is Zig Ziglar. Remember that name, Zig Ziglar. You gotta check him out, he's really good. But there's others too, like Dale Carnegie, Jim Rohn, Stephen Covey, Tony Robbins. There's so many. Jim Rohn said that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Albert Einstein once said that education is what remains after one has forgotten what one had learned in school. The one who graduated yesterday and stops learning today will be uneducated by tomorrow. I'll say it again. The one who graduated yesterday and stops learning today will be uneducated by tomorrow. It was through a book that I was introduced to Dave Ramsey. You know, he's the guy that says, live like no one else today, so later you can live like no one else. Well, I am living proof that his concepts on budgeting and paying off debt really do work. I paid off all my student loans in 7 years, when most of my other classmates would be paying for 20 or more years. There's so much information in books. You just have to have a desire to pursue it. Be better than the average person who only reads one book a year. But you can find many things in books. It could also be other sources like YouTube videos or podcasts. Just better yourself. Second point, let's talk about character. Now, character are those things like what Trevor talked about, being humble and kind, but I want to talk about two other characters. Having integrity and a positive attitude. Now, integrity means telling the truth. And I can't stress how important it is to tell the truth. Lying is all around us. It's on social media, the so-called experts lie to us, even our parents lie to us. No one has to teach a child how to lie. They just know that if they fake a cry, they'll get the attention that they desire. You have to make it a habit to tell the truth. Currently, professional FBI interrogators are teaching everyday people how to tell a lie, detect the lie, become a human lie detector. In the book Spy the Lie, they say that you cannot hide the deceptive behavior that your body shows when you lie, no matter how good of a liar you think you are. Now, I will prove it to you. I'm going to do a little demonstration that requires everyone's participation. I need you to take your right foot and rotate it clockwise. Your other right foot. Okay, rotate it clockwise. Now, with your finger, draw number 6 in the air. Your foot will change directions. Try it multiple times. Your foot will change directions. You cannot hide the deception, and neither can a lie. Now, Pinocchio had a nose that grew really long. So, just remember Jiminy Cricket's advice.
I don't know if you're on to speak or not.
So honesty is one of the top traits of the most successful people in the world. Another trait that successful people have is a positive attitude. Now, I have a 4-year-old daughter. I could tell you exactly what attitude is. She loves to say, I can't, even when it's a simple task like putting on her shoes. But she is an example of how life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you handle it. A great example of this theory is the majority of our 300 well-known influencers had extreme difficulty in life. We're talking about extreme poverty, disappointment, abuse, disabilities. Take, for example, Helen Keller. She was born both blind and deaf, and yet she has become inspirational. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison defending the idea of a multiracial South Africa, and later they elected him as president. Thomas Edison said, I haven't found 10,000 ways to fail, but 10,000 ways not to do things. There are others too. Bill Gates, whose first business failed. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Benjamin Franklin dropped out of school. Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4 and wasn't accepted to college. J.K. Rowling was a depressed single mother whose book was rejected by several publishers. Does anyone know what the book is? It is not a person. Now, while I was in pre-veterinary school in Brookings, I was told that I would never get into veterinary school. I had a lower than normal or recommended GPA, and some of the classes that I needed hadn't been completed yet. The year I applied, they changed the requirements, and so in order for them to accept my application, I needed to get a letter from the dean stating that I was getting the required classes. This was going to be a simple task. I didn't think anything was going to go wrong. But I remember sitting in his office, waiting for him to sign my paper, when he looked up at me and said, "I shouldn't sign this. I could save you the disappointment now because you're never going to get it." Now, I was extremely hurt, and I could have walked out of there not thinking anything about my dream. But I said to him, it was up to me, and he signed it and let me go on. So your past can be difficult and the pain can hurt. But, like Rafiki told Simba in The Lion King,
Oh yes, the past can hurt. But when I see it, you can either run from it, or learn from it.
so you have a choice. It's not about what happens out there, but inside of you. Your legacy depends on what you do, not on where or who you come from. But a word of caution, like Pastor Lettercamp said earlier, don't lose a heart of gratitude. So when someone asks you if your cup is half full or half empty, just respond, "I'm just glad I have a cup." And my third point, strive for more. Push yourself harder and longer. Don't give up. It would be really easy to take the simple road. You could go through life being lazy. But what value would you put on life that's lived by others' achievements? Now I have another demonstration that requires your participation. Last one, I promise. Try to do your very, very best. I would like everyone to look at me and raise your right hand as high as you can. Remember your other right hand. Great. Oh, wonderful. Now, one more thing I need you to do. Look around and go a little higher. This time aim for the ceiling. Okay, put your hands down. You guys look like kindergartners. What happened? Everyone had more to give that second time. So sometimes you need a big goal and some friendly competition. But everyone has more to give. Just keep striving for your goal and you'll get there. Or remember what Tiana said in The Princess and the Frog.
I know exactly where I'm going to get closer, closer, almost there.
I want to share two lives with you. These are people who have not only worked hard, but have worked smart. You may have heard of David Goggins, because he's a Navy SEAL with a no-limits mindset. One of his first accomplishments was actually making it through the Navy SEAL training. But due to his weight of 300 pounds, he did not have the standard muscular physique of the SEALs. Now, with determination, he was allowed to enter 3 months later weighing 190 pounds. He's got an amazing story about that experience. You should check him out. Now, he has more going on in his life. After losing some friends in combat, he decided to raise money for the Wounded Warrior Foundation. He started running marathons and ultra-marathons. Ultra-marathons are those ones that are over 100 miles long. He had the goal of starting with the most challenging race. It's only 135 miles in Death Valley. But to enter, they required he get a qualification run. Now, with no endurance training or prior experience, and again, this time weighing close to 280 pounds because of muscle from powerlifting, he ran his first 100 miles in less than 19 hours. During that race, he broke all the bones in his feet, and he had a case of kidney failure. Now, most people would have gave up and said, qualification done, I'm into the ultimate race. But not Goggins. 10 days later, he ran another 26-mile marathon. And within 60 days, he ran another 100-mile ultramarathon, just to make sure he was qualified for that ultimate goal. He has a motto. He says to push himself harder and farther, he has a 40% rule. He says that when your brain tells you you're done, you're actually only 40% done. You can push yourself farther. Remember Dory's words in Nemo? Maybe wealth and sustainable living is your ultimate goal. You're going to love the story of Stephen James. He's a 7-figure internet entrepreneur who made his first million by the age of 23. Now he was 17, a shy introvert in high school, very depressed and lazy. He became so fed up with his own negative attitude that he started a personal self-development journey. His first bold task was to join an improv acting group, just so he could gain self-confidence. Now, over time, friends were noticing the difference in his attitude and asked him to start coaching. He started writing simple instructions and coaching his friends, and that became his first business opportunity. He then started writing books for Kindle and other self-publishing internet outlets, and today, his internet library, which is mostly passive income, allows him to travel all over the world for fun. He's very goal-driven and motivated by investing and improving himself. He not only demonstrates hard work, but smart work. His motto in life is, if you aren't growing, you're done. Well, there you have it, my 3 points for you with the Disney-inspired advice to read more self-help books, tell the truth and have an I-can attitude, strive to do more with hard and smart work. Keep your goals in mind and you'll succeed past your own expectations. Like Buzz Lightyear says,
to infinity and beyond.
now you may have noticed that I didn't use any songs from Frozen. Truthfully, I don't want you to let it all go. Instead, I want you to do the best you can and have the confidence in the end to say, like Maui says in Moana,
What can I say?